Okay, Kim, take it away.
Hi, today we are going to be talking about supported decision making. This is one of my pieces of artwork, and I'm going to use SDM for short. My name is Kim Plow, and I will be one of your presenters today.
My name is Marie Hennessy. I will be one of your presenters, and I'm a member of the Supported Decision Making Task Force. I'm looking forward to being with you all.
Can you guys hear me? Do you guys hear me?
We hear you, Austin.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. My name is Austin Tar, and I am also a presenter with the task force this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And here, for some reason, I have a notification that comes up and it says later or unmute. What should I do? I can't see the PowerPoint at all.
You can't see the PowerPoint at all. Can other folks see the PowerPoint?
I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Austin, can you respond to the prompt that's coming up on your screen?
Yeah, it says later. Maybe I'll hit later.
Yeah, I think hit later.
Oh yeah. All right.
Now,
Sorry about that, everyone. Here we go. What is supported decision making? The reason for supported decision making is to make you have the ability to make your own choices. With support, you can select your team to help you with important decisions in your life. Supporters decision making choose choices. SDM makes it possible for you to have more than one supporter to help you make good decisions in your life. And then there's a picture here with a whole bunch of different hands that spells out the word choices. And how you spell the word choices is CHOICES, choices. And I think now we're, oh no, it's still me. Supported decision making choices. Here are some examples of situations where you might need support or some support. And these are just some basic examples. Traveling, social decisions, or medical decisions. And we're going to talk more about that later. But now I think I'm going to hand it off to Marie Hennessy. And there's a picture, two spinners on puzzle pieces, and their arms are reaching out to connect with to each other.
Okay, so we all want to look at this drawing of Kim's because it says a lot here. It's your choice, so get out there and use your voice. Who makes your decisions with guardianship? All changes have to go through the court. If there is a problem with a guardian, the court must approve any changes or appointments of new guardians. And here we have a image of a gavel and a mallet. Who makes your decisions with guardianship. Typically, only one guardian makes all the decisions for the person with a disability. The abilities and needs of the person with a disability are determined by a judge based on a person's IQ scores and diagnosis. And here we have an image of a female judge with a gavel pointing. Why make your, excuse me, who makes your decisions with SDM? The person with a disability can change the supporters they use anytime they want without a court process. So things can move along a lot quicker if you want to make a change. The person with a disability can hire or fire supporters they use without having to go to court. And here we have an image of some figures together. Who makes your decision for SDM? There will usually be multiple supporters, but sometimes there may only be one, who may provide support in different areas of your life. The strengths and needs of a person are discussed by the person and their supporters. And here we have some paper cutouts of different people. We have Kim's drawing again, which is great, of these words. You can choose who you want to help you decide. Very important with SDM. Okay, now Kim's going to continue.
Hi, everyone. This section is from a lot of different people that told us their stories and how they felt. The section is called What Makes It Hard to Decide and Make Decisions. So a particular person told us that their case manager was having a hard time telling them that they could not decide because the case manager wasn't letting them make their own decisions. The person said, I believe that I can do it, and my case manager is saying that I cannot do it. So how does my case manager know unless the case manager lets me try? That is a very important thing. You need to be able to try and do things on your own. That is something that you need to believe in yourself. That is an important thing about supported decision making. It gives you the ability to try things on your own with support. There's a picture here that has a purple bubble and it says, I can do this. Again, it's very important because people can do this. Often self-advocates report that they're restricted in their decision-making, even though they did not have a formal authority to do so, which means that people like their staff and sometimes family members are restricting them in making their own decisions. They have a hard time with communication, and that can be difficult at times when they really want to do it themselves. And I want to let you all know that you can say, stop, I want to do this on my own. I want to figure it out. And that is okay. Sometimes it is more important to figure out what the needs and wants are of yourself. You need to remember that you have the power to say, I want to do this with you. And there's a picture here of a gray shirt with a hand being held up saying, stop. Another situation that we dealt with is that self-advocates in group homes or even self-advocates in assisted programs that deal with rep payees, they felt that they weren't being a part of their financial aspect and that they wanted to be more involved, which is, again, something else that is important to everyone. And I think that that's a good thing. You want to learn about how to manage money? Okay, talk to your rep payee. It's all right to talk to your rep payee. So remember, your rep payee is really important to talk to in a really important thought, and you need to communicate about your money to anyone that you believe you need to communicate that handles it, because learning it is how you do your finances. There's a picture here of a cross through money, and it means no. There's a person who wanted to go for their driver's license, and her staff and her family said that she couldn't. She kept on saying, I want to try this. Okay, you want to try this? She kept on saying, well, it's my decision. Okay, it's your decision. Communicate that. There's a lot of things that people want to decide, but people tell them that they can't do. Sometimes the difference between SDM and the guardianship is that you communicate with the person and talk back and forth about it, and you get to make the decision. But again, there's a right and wrong decision, and the person can talk to you about it, but it's your final decision. The person wanted to take this driving test and they wanted to succeed, and that's important too. The big thing here is that there's a picture of a driver's license and a hand holding it up. Sometimes
Awesome.
people don't feel like they are being listened to, especially when they have guardians, but they do need to be listened to. Anyone needs to be listened to. Even people like you and I need to be listened to, which is really important. Anybody wants to be listened to, even people that don't have guardians. And it's almost like they want to just say, again, stop, hear me. I want to be part of the conversation. And I know that a lot of people feel that way. So there's a person here that's holding their hands over their ears and saying, stop. I don't want to hear it.
All
Austin?
right. Yes, thank you, Tim. A bill has been created in Massachusetts in September of 2018. Sierra, would you be able to make your mouth a little bit bigger? I didn't see it fine, but I think it would help if it was just a tad bit bigger.
Yes, give me one sec.
Sorry about that. A group of people have been working on with organizations to support a bill with supported decision making in Massachusetts. And then there's a bunch of different colors like red, green, people like red, green, yellow, blue, purple, with a bunch of test bubbles above their head. And now it's Marie's turn.
The SDM bill. Mass Advocates with the Massachusetts Advocates for Supported Decision Making Coalition to make sure this all self-advocates, people with disabilities, voices are heard. Okay. Some of the members of the Massachusetts Advocates for a Supported Decision-Making Coalition include Mass Advocates, Inc., the ARC of Massachusetts, Boston Center for Independent Living, Center for Public Representation, Disability Law Center of Massachusetts, Greater Boston Legal Services, Massachusetts Advocates Standing Strong, Massachusetts Association for Mental Health, Massachusetts Developmental Disabilities Council, Massachusetts Families Organizing for Change, Massachusetts Guardianship Policy Institute, Mental Health Legal Advisors Committee, North Shore Elder Services, and North Shore Justice Center. And maybe you belong to an organization that isn't listed here, and you may want to talk to people in that organization to see if they'd be interested in signing on in the bill and getting involved. Why do we need a bill? Even though many families and support workers are already using SDM decision-making, making SDM legal can help ensure that the choices of people with disabilities are respected. Respect is really important, like choices. And here we have a rainbow colored bill and a gavel. Austin?
Okay, now you can hear me. Why do we need a bill? This bill would help people with disabilities to use their SDM agreement in situations where their decisions are not respected. And then there's a picture with a piece of paper with the law written on it, LAW, and then the hand presenting that piece of paper underneath. All right. Why do we need a bill? Use a bill and SDM agreement also is important to highlight the fact of people with disabilities to have rights and control over their one life. Marie, can you help me with this last part?
The part at the bottom, it says supported decision making, and then there is a section that is in an enclosed dotted line like a sign. It says, which is very important here, it says your choices, your rights, which means it's your right.
Thank you, Tim. Tim, I think this is your slide too.
Yep.
Tim, I think this is your slide.
Yeah, no, just give me a minute.
Okay.
Got something in my eye. A bill was introduced in January 2019 to recognize supported decision making, and it was introduced into the Mass legislature. And there is a picture of someone signing a bill.
The bill in June 2019,
In June 2019, Mass and other organizations provided legislative testimony at the Massachusetts State House to move the bill forward. It was given in testimony by self-advocates and other organizations in writing and in person. There is a picture here of a black and white state house. In February 2021 of this year, the bill was again recognized for supported decision-making agreements with changes, and it was reintroduced into the Massachusetts legislation and is working on being reintroduced into our services for support and for support from all legislative people. There's a picture here that says bill, and it's in an orange bubble, and somebody else is signing a different type of bill. In many states here that are in green, there is a part of the bill that actually got passed. The SDM bill got passed in all these green states. So the states that got passed is Alaska, Delaware, Washington, D.C., Nevada, North Dakota, Rhode Island, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Texas. Go ahead, Austin.
Thank you, Tim. And excuse me if I talk for everyone. But all right, here we go. What is SDM working on now? As the SDM task force rather is working on creating an agreement for. And there's a picture of a piece of paper with somebody's hands signing that so-called agreement, and there's a supporter and an individual looking over the agreement, if you will.
Here's another piece of my artwork, and it says, what is supported decision making?
The SDM agreement. An SDM agreement identifies the people who will support the person in making their own decisions. The agreement goes into effect as soon as you and your supporters or supporter sign it. And here we have a hand with a just a graphic. An SDM agreement states that the supporter agrees to follow and assist the decision maker. The decision maker makes the final decision, and the supporter or supporters respect the decision maker's choices. And here we have two people, two hands holding it with the words decision making, goals, options, and dreams. We all should have them. And using supported decision making could be a way for some people to make that really happen the way we might like. So now I am going to ask these two expert self-advocates some questions here so that we all can learn more about SDM. Austin, what is the job of your supporters or supporter?
The job of your supported or supporter is to listen to what areas in your life that you want supporting and support you in those specific areas.
Okay. And Kim,
You didn't ask him the next question.
Austin, what is your job if you were to be using an SDM agreement that you would need to do to make
But-
this work?
Marie, my job is, if I was using an SDM agreement, is to tell the support team or the individual supporter, however it would feel, where I need support in my life. So whether it's social, academic support, or just with the social aspects of life, maybe it's medical decisions or day-to-day decisions. It's really my job and the individual's job to facilitate and interpret how they want decisions and decisions to be executed throughout their day and throughout their life.
Very great. So Kim, how can your supporters help you decide about a huge decision that you either have had to make or may plan to make in the future?
Well, first off, a lot of people today can relate to this. A huge decision that a lot of us are trying to make these days is what to do during COVID-19. But in my case, a few huge decisions that I've had to make these days is whether or not I have to go to school over Zoom or in person during COVID-19, because I have to get tested sometimes in school while I am still dealing with COVID-19. Another choice that I've had to make is how often I want to see my staff and what I want to see them for, because I don't want to go out very much during COVID-19.
Okay, so those are some really good things that you have to make decisions about. And Austin, how about you? How could you support, how can your supporters help you make huge decisions in your life?
Well, right now they're supporting me with the decision or not, or supporting me with academic support, so homework, tutoring, and the social aspects of life, or medical decisions, or functionality tasks in your day-to-day life.
So those are some really good examples that Austin and Kim shared with us about some of the decisions that people would have to make, and everybody would have to think about their own decisions that are huge and important to get support with, because we all sometimes need help. Austin, can you have more than one SDM agreement?
Yes, you can. You have many areas in your life, so there implies many SDM agreements of supporters.
Okay, do you want to, okay. So Kim, can you give an example of if you were using an SDM agreement, how it would help you?
Sure, Marie. There's multiple ways that an SDM agreement will help you. And the reason for having multiple SDM agreements is because you might want help in many different areas from different people. for example, an SDM agreement could help you go to a doctor's appointment and have your doctor actually pay more attention to you than to other people in your life. An SDM agreement states that you have the authority and the ability to communicate for yourself, and that you are doing more for yourself than people are doing for you. You show them this piece of paper and they cannot communicate with your staff. They communicate with you because you're the one that has the final decision, not your staff or anyone else. It's kind of like you are your guardian and
Yeah.
these people are just here to help you.
And Kim, these are all people you trust, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely people that you trust. An SDM agreement is also good because you can write on it what your wants and needs are for these supporters. They don't have to choose for you what your wants and needs are because you have your wants and needs documented. And it's in writing. So they can't say what your wants and needs are. It's already on paper. And they have to respect what your wants and needs are at all times.
Right. And it's signed, right?
Yeah.
Definitely signed. And it is, when something is signed, that is final, and they cannot say that it can be changed. Only you can change it.
Just to add a little more, Tim, I think you pretty much hit on all the points. But really, if you think about this as a vehicle, when you drive your car, you have passengers, but ultimately you decide where the car goes because you're in the driver's seat.
Exactly, Austin. You're in the driver's seat and you have full control.
So, Austin, can you make changes to an SDM agreement once it has been signed?
Yes, Marie, because your life changes all the time. And so can your SDM agreement. Sorry, guys, about my voice.
And if you want to stop using your agreement, can you do that, Austin?
Yes, you can.
Austin, why can you stop using your SDM agreement?
Well, if you want to terminate an agreement, or you're unhappy with the way the agreement is materializing, you don't have to go through. Just like if you're unhappy with the situation in your life, you work with your family or your support team or your supporters or your providers to help you get on a new direction and refine your SDM agreement to the way that you want it. Because it's your life. It should be the way that you want it, not the way that your supporters think you have to have it.
Yep. Okay, so Kim, why is SDM not a replacement for guardianship?
SDM is not a replacement for guardianship because some people feel more comfortable still having their guardians, and they may need a little more help than they feel SDM could give them. Yeah. Everyone has the ability to make that choice to have SDM. Again, SDM is just a way for you not to have to go through the courts for guardianship. The thing is that people don't realize it, but every day they're using SDM because they're using their voice every day. SDM is not a replacement for guardianship. It is another alternative and option in life. for people to use so that they can have the ability to use their voice and to make a difference in their lives. Even though guardianship gives you the ability, it will always give you another option to communicate and decide about what you want to do in life.
So thank you to Austin and Kim for their great information that you guys provided.
You're
So
welcome.
before we take questions, I want to mention that if anybody does ask a question that we can't answer, we will make sure to get you the answer after this presentation today.
Open the reader phrase. Sierra, I did Marie just froze.
Yes, I believe you're right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think Marie is frozen.
Yeah. So basically what she was saying, if you guys have any questions that we can't answer, and then we'll find the resources and the people that can answer those questions that we don't have the answer to. Is that right, Sarah, Brian?
That is correct.
And Marie's now totally gone.
Okay, so hopefully Marie will rejoin us shortly, but in the meantime, I think we can start
So yeah,
asking
who has
questions.
any questions for us?
I
Me
see
and-
a question in Q&A from Sue asking, can you do supported decision-making even if you have a guardian?
You
So-
can actually talk it over with your guardian and somebody else. You can't have both, but you can actually in this case you can talk to either public for representation or a guardian lawyer, and you can really decide whether guardianship will help you
Yeah.
or more hurt you. It
So-
depends really how much contact you have with your guardian. So again, you need to talk to your guardian and the lawyer. Your guardian will probably say, well, I still want to be your guardian. But the really big thing is if your guardian's your mom or something, you can say, well, you can still be my supporter. The only difference is that you won't be having a law document. You'll just be having a supported decision-making document.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head, Tim, but I just want to sum it up and put a bow on it. I think in reality, on paper you can do both, but I think in practicality, you can't do both. But guardian can say, okay, tell me what you want. Do you want roast beef for lunch or macaroni and cheese? But I don't think you can actually have a guardian while you're doing supported decision making at the same time. At least that's what our legal expert told us in the past. I don't know if Brian, can you speak to that a little more?
Yeah, you're correct, Austin. You cannot have both at the same time, but I think it's always good if you are under guardianship to talk about supported decision making with your guardian and to look at what does it mean to do supported decision making. Perhaps you can talk through different areas of your life and how you could just have an agreement with your guardian to have more decision making authority over those things. But no, you cannot do both legally. You can't have both set up at the same time. You'd have to do one or the other.
Yeah, just like I said, you would have to talk to your guardian about it,
Yeah.
and you would actually have to talk to a judge, and probably a good example is I went and talked to the public representation or CPR about it.
Yeah.
And they're actually one of them that's working on SDM as of now.
Now, having a guardian is different than having a what are those called, Tim? A rep payee?
Yes,
I
it
think
is very much
you-
different.
You can still do SDM and have a legal person in charge of your money. I don't know the technical word. What is that word, Tim?
Hmm. Yes,
Representative
yes,
payee.
okay.
So we have
So,
another question up here. Did you have
Mhm.
something else to say, Kim, or?
no, go ahead.
Yeah.
I did
Um,
my wrong.
someone's asking, can you get a job as your guardian? I'm not quite sure I understand the question though.
You can't really get a job as your guardian. You can have a supporter, which
Yeah.
basically means that your guardian that's now can be your supporter. The only difference is that they won't be your guardian. They'll be communicating back and forth with you, and you'll be making the final decision. Another thing about SDM, which I like very much, is that with SDM, it actually gives you the ability to sign things. Like, for example, if I want a picture taken, I don't have to wait a month for my guardian to sign a paper saying, okay, you can get the picture taken.
Yeah.
Don't forget,
But-
it's on Tuesday.
But I think, Brian, if I understand it right, the person was asking, can you choose, can you support your guardian and who's gonna be your assigned guardian? Maybe that's what they were
Okay.
asking. I think.
Okay. Well, if the person who wrote this question, if you want to write anything else to expand on that, please do, and we'll respond to that. Hopefully, we've been able to answer part of your question. We have another question. Can you use SDM for medical decisions?
Yes, you can use SDM for medical decisions. Like we said, you can communicate with your supporter. A good example, if you are going to have a doctor's appointment and you wanted to talk to your supporter about what you wanted to see happen at your doctor's appointment, the SDM agreement, what makes it really great is that the SDM agreement makes it possible for you to communicate with your doctor, and it makes it possible for your doctor to have to communicate with you. So you can make the SDM agreement usable for medical decisions. You can write information on the SDM agreement about what types of things you would like support in and what types of things you do not need support in when it comes to medical decisions. So you need to remember that it's there for medical decisions, it's there for recreational decisions, and it's there for financial decisions. It's there for a lot of reasons.
And something else to consider with that too is, if you already have a pre-existing agreement, either like a healthcare proxy set up, or again, if you are under guardianship, those are things that you need to have different considerations for. So you can't just write an SDM agreement to override that at this point, but I would suggest talking about it with those people to start implementing support decision making in a medical setting.
Definitely.
All right. Any other questions or? I then put them in the chat if you do.
I'm not seeing any others right now.
If not, Tim, do you want to do the information slide? And then when we get that ready, we can wait to see if anybody has any last questions or further questions.
Sure.
What do you think here, Brian? Is that
Like I said.
okay or?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to share that. If people have other questions, please write them in the chat. I'm also going to be sharing about the bill fact sheet as well. So we have some information about that.
Yeah.
Sure. I can do that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see
Tia,
the
can
chat,
you
so
hear
if
us?
I can't see the chat, so if any other questions come up, someone just let me know, but I'm gonna move to the next slide, and Kim, you can share the information on it.
All right.
No problem. So, we want to hear from you, and we would love for you to get involved. So some ways that we can hear from you and you can get involved are talk about it with your friends and your supporter team and with your staff. Enjoy talking about it. Join them SDM Mass Task Force to learn more about it. Share your stories. We want to hear from you. Sign up for updates. Get the information to learn more about it.
Talked about it at dinner tonight. No, just kidding. But really, make sure you talked about it, because the only way to get the word out there is if we have people like you guys talking about it and willing to talk about it, and that's the way we get to our goal. And spread the word by, advocates like you and me and him and everybody in Mass. We're all working together to spread the word about supporting the decision making. Tim, did you want to read the last slide?
If you're done talking, Austin, I'll be glad to.
Yes, I am.
So sign up for updates. Text Mass at 42828 to sign up. Use your email to receive updates. Again, text Mass at 42828 to sign up with your email to receive updates. You can also get email updates at wearemass.org. Again, you can also get the email at the updates from wearemass.org. You can also find updates at the Mass Facebook page, and you can also find information on our monthly newsletter, the Mass Flash. If you have any questions, you can also call Mass Advocate Standing Strong at 857-360-0134. Again, 857-360-0134.
I think that's really helpful information, and I just want to offer to Brian and the presenters, we've been sending follow-up emails about some of our workshops. So if you guys are interested, we can definitely collect all of this information and then put it in a follow-up email that will go out to everyone that registered for this conference, so that they can have that information.
Yeah. All right. And thank you very much for sharing part of your Tuesday with us. And we hope you enjoyed this presentation. And we hope that you were able to learn something, and you'll have yourself a terrific Tuesday. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you
Bye.
guys. You did a great job. Ben, thank you so much for sharing that information with us. It was very informative and very important information. And we were honored to have you come share it with us.
Thank you.
All right, you got a lot of people in the chat are saying great job, great presentation, bravo. So just sharing some of that. Again, I shared a link to the SDM fact sheet in there. It's for Senate Bill S-124, House H-272. You can read more about that in the fact sheet. There's also a link to sign up and subscribe to the SDM task force if you want to learn more or get involved. I recommend going there, and it sounds like Amber and Ness may be sharing some more information as well. So we'll get some other information to you about this.
Yep, we'll put all of that stuff in an email. That'll go out to everyone that's here today and everybody that's registered for the conference.
Awesome. All right.